Fitzy and Wippa with Kate Ritchie podcast.
I want to talk about irrational fears. There's this video floating around. Some guy uploaded it where he was at a water park, and it brought all of these people out of the woodwork about their irrational fears of water slides. And now, as I'm even talking about the story, I realise I have a bit of an irrational fear about water slides, but not the one that everyone was relating to. This guy comes down the water slide, gets stuck halfway.
Yeah.
The water's like rushing past him.
Yeah.
He can't move. Obviously, he thinks he's going to drown or he's going to lose his cozies or his bathers. Luckily, the attendant is there to rescue him, and everything's fine.
Yeah.
But it's funny how something so basic like getting stuck in a water slide can absolutely freak you out. I think some people won't even get in them because they get a bit claustrophobic because they are the tunnels.
Well, there's some, Raging Water has some as well where it's completely black. You can't see anything at all.
Oh, really?
You go down, there's a lot of water slides that are completely blacked out and there's no light in them at all. You don't even know where you're going.
I get weird about water slides. I mean, I don't go on them anyway because I'm just so self-conscious.
Because your cozies go up your clacker?
Yeah. Pardon. Your pardon. I would have to wear a full wetsuit, not only in case I didn't want to lose my bathers up my, but I also have a bit of an irrational fear now that I'm talking about it, about worrying that I'm going to get caught on. And I've never been down a slide, but don't they have nuts and bolts and things like that?
Okay,
I've got like a horror movie vision in my head that I might be sliced.
Well, Kate, that is interesting because in where I grew up, there was a huge. It looks like a giant poo, but it was called Magic Mountain, right? And
I've seen. Yeah.
This was in South Australia, and it was a water slide park, and there was a rumour, and this really stung their business because kids were so freaked out. The whisper was that people were sticking razor blades down the slide as you went down it. And it freaked all the kids out who lived in the area, and no one would go there for months and months.
Yeah, as it would freak you out. I've got an irrational fear where I think, and I know it's the bridge that goes over the Nepean down south, and it's really, really, really high. Yeah. And I don't know if anyone else has this, but when you're driving the car and you're going over maybe a high bridge or somewhat narrow bridge, and all I can think of is hold the steering wheel really tight because I think you're going to drive over the edge.
Oh, what?
Not that don't worry about me. I'm fine, everyone.
Driver, yeah.
No, I'm actually quite a good. Okay, maybe I'm not a great driver, but I'm an excellent parker.
So, but you honestly, does your heart skip a beat?
Well, I feel like my body is out of my control or something, and I think something's going to happen where at this exact moment I'm going to drive over the edge of the bridge.
Wasn't there a spot in New South Wales as well where they say a young girl was murdered, and every time there's been numerous people that say that they've driven past this area, and in the back seat, it's only at night, Kate, in the back seat, this girl
appears in
the back of your car. You look in your rear view mirror and you can see her quickly, and then you look back and there's nobody there.
Really?
It's on the Wakehurst Parkway, guys.
Oh, is that where that is? Up on the northern beaches?
We've done it before. A lot of people have called in.
You'd have an irrational fear going past that, wouldn't you? If you've heard about that before.
Well, it gets quite foggy in there. I think the fog sits deep in there in amongst all of the trees. But you would so what you'd do is you'd be driving along the Wakehurst Parkway thinking, don't look in the rear vision mirror, don't look in the rear vision mirror.
I have an irrational fear. I used to work with this guy, right? And then he went over to a wedding over in Paris, and I had this irrational fear that he would come back and work with me one day. And do you know
was
what?
that the same guy as the drunk?
It gets me emotional now because I'm thinking that he might come back to work at some stage. He was a horrible man.
Fitzy and Wippa with Kate Ritchie is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcast.com.au.